Mixing background vocals and ad-libs in a hip-hop song can be challenging, and it can get kind of boring if you're sick of that old telephone effect that everybody is doing, man. The whole ping pong left to right, and we sick of that, man. Let's do something different, man. So I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did on this record, one of my favorite records with some really cool background vocals. Yeah, let's check it out. Let's see what I did. WavyWayne.com has some dope new templates, man. What you waiting for? Go cop that, go cop that. All right, so let's take a look at what we doing in this mix. I'm just gonna play like the last verse. That's where like most of these kind of ad-lib / background vocals are at. We're gonna listen to it, and then I'm gonna go break down every plugin and every send on that track for you. Here we go.
Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. I can't feel my mind, think my mind's gone, yeah. Satan trying to convince me wrong, but God got my back, he know I'm standing strong, yeah. Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. Can't feel my mind, think my mind gone, yeah. Satan trying to convince me wrong, but God got my back, he know I'm standing strong, yeah.
All right, so that's a really trippy kind of effect that everybody seems to like nowadays, man. I hear something similar on a lot of records, and I like that kind of washed out underwater, vibey feeling. I don't know what the hell to call it, man. You call it something. Name that effect down in the comments below. See, that's what y'all there for. That's what the Wavy Seals is for. Speaking of Wavy Seals, if you ain't done that yet, I'm gonna put a link in the description. Join the army, bruh. Get tricep action. Join the Wavy Seals. All right, let's break this down. So here's my background vocal track. Here's what I did for the processing. First thing first, de-esser. With a de-esser, it's nothing special. This is my standard de-esser, and if you got any of my templates, you know that I like to de-ess first thing first. Next, we're doing some compression. And matter of fact, I'm gonna go over here to my mix window because there's a lot going on here. I'm gonna bypass all of this. We're gonna bypass, no, we're not gonna bypass. We're gonna leave some of the stuff on here just to see where we at. Okay, all right, so here we go. With the compression, I'm just compressing, man. It's simple. I'm knocking off some of the peaks. And you see, I'm not doing very heavy compression on this track. I already compressed it a little bit as it was coming in, but right now using this R compressor, my first compressor, I'm just kind of controlling that vocal a little bit more.
Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. I can't feel my soul. Can't feel my mind, I think my mind's gone, yeah.
See, I wasn't gonna play it without the reverb. I'm sorry, without the auto tune, but that would just be disrespectful. Shout out to Cold Mind. This record is available right now. It's called Mind Gone. I'm also gonna leave a link in the description for you to find that. Yeah, and so after the compression, we're just gonna bring that back in. After I do a little bit of compression, if you need some help with compression, check out the full compression tutorial. I'm using Auto Tune Pro. Now, if you see my retune speed for this one is 0. It's completely tuned up, and I'm just using a little bit of the humanizing effect. That's it. I'm keeping it very simple on these ad-libs because I just want it to sound like auto-tune. I want it to sound very computerized, but you know, we're just adding a little bit of that humanized effect just to smooth over some of the note changes, okay? Next thing in my chain is gonna be EQ. All right, now with this EQ, it is very aggressive EQing. I'm rolling off a lot of those low frequencies up to about 500 hertz. And then also at the top end, I'm rolling off a lot of those high frequencies too, up to about 2300 hertz. And yeah, that's what's gonna give us that kind of closed in telephonic sound. Let's just bypass this and listen to it before and after.
Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. I can't feel my soul. I can't feel my mind, think my
So if you notice, when Cole was doing this, you know, we also used a miking technique to where he kind of used more of the room. Instead of being so directional to the microphone, I had him kind of back up a little bit more, and we got some of that room. So some of the high frequencies are already kind of attenuated a little bit. It's not as crisp, right? I'm kind of creating the feeling of being further back by moving him further back away from the microphone. Instead of trying to do everything in the box, I like to try to use my recording techniques as much as possible to get the sound that I want. But again, I still ended up doing some aggressive chops on this EQ because it's just an effect, and really is not about having him sound natural. It's about making it fit in with whatever pocket he can squeeze into within the music.
Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. I can't feel my mind, think my mind's gone, yeah. Satan trying to convince me wrong, but God got my back, he know I'm standing strong, yeah. Can't.
All right, cool. The next processor that I'm using is one of my favorites, the R-Vox, the Renaissance Vox. On this one, I use this a lot. The gate on here is very clean, it's very simple, and then we're just doing a little bit more compression on this track. You can never have too many layers of compression. If you do a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there, then it comes out a whole lot smoother. So I'm just using a little bit of compression, but mainly just using that gate to clean up any noise floor and kind of get that up out of there.
Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. I can't feel my mind, think my mind's gone, yeah. Satan trying to convince me wrong, but God got my back.
Okay, so next thing that we're using here is going to be the C4. C4 is a multi-band compressor. I just use this to kind of compress different bands of frequencies separately, and it just helps to give a more overall even tone to whatever it is that you're using this on. So let's just take a look here. You see, I'm not doing anything very drastic, and in the future I'll probably give a full tutorial on how I like to use the C4 and just break it all the way down. But for now, you see basically it's compression combined with EQ.
Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. I can't feel my mind, think my mind's gone, yeah. Satan trying to convince me wrong, but
See, and with this compressor here, what I'm doing, I'm basically creating like a wall that I don't want that vocal to go by. I want it to feel like it's contained and like it's trapped. Kind of, I'm going off the lyrics of the song, man. He's feeling like he's trapped and his mind going, it's confusion. So I'm creating that same feeling with the mixing techniques, okay? So that's the C4 compressor. Again, it's just helping to restrict the dynamics of that vocal even more. Now, I'm really giving away some secret sauce with this one, the Mondo Mod. The Mondo Mod, this is a modulation effect, but basically what this is doing, this is going to help just to create some movement from the left to right side within this vocal. It's kind of like an auto pan that was just going to move it from the left to right. Now with that as well, I didn't want it to move too wide, so you can adjust the range. You see that kind of determines how wide that signal is going to modulate from left to right. Okay, so I kind of tightened it up, and I also went down to the track's pan itself because I didn't want these vocals to be super wide. Again, they just felt like they needed to be contained in based on the feeling and the emotion of the record. So that's why I make these decisions, man. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I listen to the record say, hey Wavy, do this. Hey Wavy, add a little bit of that. Hey Wavy, take that out. And then by the time we're done, we got a nice mix. All right, so you gotta listen to your record, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do. The next thing, so basically how I like to set the Mondo Mod up, I'll give you this. I basically set the tempo sync. I turn that on to auto, and that's going to automatically lock up to whatever the tempo of my session is. That's, again, a very important reason why you should always find the tempo. So I'm using that, and then I'm coming down and I just set what the frequency of it is, and I just use like a 0.25 as a quarter note setting or whatever, so I'll use that. And and that'll work, you know, for what I'm doing right now. You see it's just moving to the left and right.
Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. I can't feel my mind, think my mind's gone, yeah. Satan trying to convince me wrong, but God got my back, he know I'm standing strong, yeah.
So that's really cool. It just adds a bunch of movement, subtle movement to that ad-lib vocal. I like to use these on ad-libs a lot. Yeah, especially when I don't feel like doing some pan automation. I kind of throw that on there, see if it works, and it's a quick way to get that movement on some ad-libs is using the Mondo mod. So I just wanted to keep on affecting this, so I added another layer of processing, and this time we used the meta flanger. With this, the mix percentages is bumped all the way down. My feedback is set to 0. The mix is pretty low. And I'm just adding a little bit of more modulation to it. Again, just adding a little more fatness, a little more lushness to that vocal.
Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. I can't feel my mind, think my mind's gone, yeah. Satan trying to convince me wrong, but God got my back, he know I'm standing strong, yeah. Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. Can't feel my mind, think my mind gone, yeah.
Yeah, so that is, it's a very subtle effect, but if you're listening to it in headphones, you probably hear it a little more, but it just, you know, makes it a little smooth. Maybe it's in my head, maybe not. All right, so let's take a look at the next processor that we have here. I'm just using a EQ. I guess I found a few problem frequencies after the initial EQ. You know, when you start doing a bunch of processing, some other things could be more apparent, become more apparent. And so it looks like I just notched out about 100 hertz there, and then just gave a boost at about 3K to just help that vocal do whatever it needed to do to stick out or stay clean within my mix.
Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. I can't feel my mind, think my mind's gone, yeah. Satan trying to convince me wrong, but God got my back, he know I'm standing strong, yeah.
Yeah, so that dip at about 100 hertz helps that vocal to, even though it's in the background, it helps us to still cut through, right? Because it's not fighting that muddiness. And then just a little bit of a pop up at the 3K will just help it to come through even more, but while still keeping it in the background, all right? So that's all of the insert processors, and I think that's enough. What's that, 9 plugins that I used just for that background effect? Maybe it's a little overkill, but I like the way it sounds. Yeah, man, and shoot, if you don't like it, leave a comment, tell me what you would have did differently. I might read it, I might not. I probably don't care. All right, let's see what else we doing. We got a few sends. All right, so I have a quarter note delay send. That should be pretty much self-explanatory. We hear that quarter note delay. I'm not sure if I was using this 8th note at all. Let me listen to it.
Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. I can't feel my mind, think my mind's gone, yeah. Satan trying to convince me wrong, but God got my back, he know I'm standing strong.
If I wasn't using it, I think it sounds cool. It doesn't hurt anything, so we'll keep that there. The next is another favorite of mine, wide plugin. I'm simply just using this for my doubler effect, right? It's just giving me another layer of lushness, another stereo widening technique that I use. I put that in all my templates in some shape or form. It's like a chorus effect, right? But a really unique thing that I am doing here on this particular track is I'm sending off to the reverb pre-fader. This way I can get a whole lot more reverb sound and pretty much drown that vocal in reverb as much as I want to. This is just going to give me the ability to have that reverb set independently of the dry vocal. So let's see how that sounds. If I manipulate it a little bit, you can see what I'm talking about.
Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul.
So that's all reverb right there. And then
can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. Can't feel my mind, think my mind gone, yeah.
See, I would really have to crank up that reverb if it wasn't pre-fader. But this just allows me to get the amount of reverb that I want without worrying about where the track level is, especially since I'm doing some automation on certain parts. That reverb is going to remain the same volume no matter how loud the track volume gets, which is, you know, good. All right. And that's pretty much it. So let's just hear what we got again.
Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. I can't feel my mind, think my mind's gone, yeah. Satan trying to convince me wrong, but God got my back, he know I'm standing strong, yeah. Can't feel my face, can't feel my soul. Can't feel my mind, think my mind gone, yeah. Satan trying to convince me wrong, but God got my back, he know I'm standing strong, yeah.
All right. So really the goal with our background vocals and ad-libs is to make sure that they're not interfering with the lead vocals, and also that they have some width and some lushness, and in this case that really affect the out. So affect it out, whatever the hell you call it, man. It's got a lot of effects on it. So we just wanted to make sure that it still sounded clean even with all those effects, and ultimately that was my goal. All right. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share. And if you ever need professional mixing services, you can hit up wavywayne.com or shoot me an email, all right? Don't forget to be dope, man. Also, if you ain't get your template yet, do it!